Hello, and welcome to my channel, Crochet and Copy. My name is Judy. In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to make this lovely poncho. I call it the Granny Pineapple Poncho. The poncho comes in only one size, but it fits most women small to large. So I just wanted to show you others that I've made. I used this yarn is the Red Heart Super Saver yarn. And I was playing around with it. These are my practice. So I was practicing to see how it comes out and the yarn I wanted to use. And I was trying different setups and design. As you see, I just did the pineapple with the yellow yarn. And then the light yellow yarn, I did the regular granny square stitch. But the thing is with that, you have to tuck in all your ends. I didn't do that. I just was practicing. So you will have to cut it, of course, and each of them you have to tuck in. I didn't do that because I'm not finished with this. This was my practice. And I was trying out what color yarn to try and see which yarn color works nice. And this one, what I did with it is I did the like 2 rows of the red yarn, and then I did 1 row of green yarn, went back to the red yarn, and this is what you get when you do that. So every time you come back to that where you dropped your yarn and you pick it up, that's what you get. Not too many to tuck in and to cut off. It really doesn't show too bad. So that's if you wanted to do it with different color yarn. This is how it will look. And see, this was also when I was practicing to try to figure out what do I need to put in the center to close it up. And I also went ahead and I tried this design, but I like that. That was nice too. It's pretty. But I end up, because I said I call it the Pineapple Granny Poncho, so I needed to put the pineapple in the center. That's what I came up with, as you see when we move on with the tutorial. Just to give you option and different design of how it looks when you use different color yarn. And of course, if you want to wear your poncho on the wrong side because you have the pineapple in the front shaped like a heart, you go ahead and use it that way. But I just want to show you how it looks when we're finished from inside. These are supplies you're going to be using to make our poncho. The yarn we're using is, I love this yarn, super soft, super saving. In this ball of yarn, you have 355 yards, 100% acrylic. The medium 4, of course, a worsted weight yarn, and the color is ivory. I go into more detail regarding the yarn, but let's move on with our other supplies. The hook that we're using is the 5.0 millimeter. We're going to be using a yarn needle, a few stitch markers, and lastly, scissors. And for this ball of yarn, what I noticed they actually put on the package to pull from the center. So that's what we're going to do to start this project. You could start from the center because the tail is already there. And to complete our project, we need 2 balls of yarn. For us to get started, we need to get our yarn attached to our hook. And for us to do that, we use what's called a slip knot stitch. This is how I'm comfortable in doing my slip knot stitch. If you have a different method of doing your slip knot stitch, you go ahead and you use it. So I take the yarn and the working yarn and I drape it over my 2 fingers. I take my hook, put it between my 2 fingers, and I pull up a loop of yarn. I have a low knot, take that low knot and just tighten it against my hook. And that's how I do my slip knot stitch. So we're going to first start off doing the large motif. And for the large motif, we're going to be working in rounds. So the first thing we need to do is to do 4 chain to start round 1 off. So a chain is you simply yarn over your hook, pull through, yarn over your hook, pull through, and of course keep it loose as you work, right? Yarn over your hook, pull through, yarn over your hook, pull through. And we made our 4 chain. And for a chain, we count them by the way they look and the shape of it. It's like a V. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the front, and then this is the back of our work. This is how it looks. Now the next step we need to do is we need to join our chain together to form a circle. By doing that, I'm going to use the back bar in the back of it. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but that's what I'm going to do. So you find that little bar in the back of the first chain that we made, go in there, and you're going to pull up a loop, and then you take that same loop we just pulled up and pull it across the other loop we have on our hook. There you go. And that's called a slip stitch join. So the next step is we're going to chain 3, and you know how to do the chain. 1, 2, 3. And whenever we start a round with that chain 3, it counts as our first double crochet for that round. Okay, moving forward. Here too, I'm going to put my stitch marker to remind me. If you know how to find it, you don't have to do this. I also like it because it helped open up my stitch for me. So I'm going to go under those 2 loops right there, and I'm going to put my stitch marker. And in the back, remember when I used it, that little bar right there. So I put it between there. So now I'm going to show you how to do double crochet into the center of our ring. So double crochet is yarn over your hook. You go into the center of our ring. And I like to move my little tail that we started with out of the way so I can work better. You pull up a loop of yarn. You have 3 loops of yarn on your hook. Yarn over your hook, and you're going to pull across the first 2 loops that we have on our hook. There you go. And then to complete the double crochet, yarn over your hook again. You're going to pull across those 2 remaining loops on our hook. There you go. I'll show you again how to do the double crochet. Yarn over your hook, go into the center for a ring, pull up a loop, 3 loops of yarn on your hook, yarn over, pull across the first 2 loops on your hook, 2 more loops of yarn remaining on your hook to complete that double crochet. Yarn over your hook and pull straight across 2 of them at the same time. And that's how you do a double crochet. Now the pattern for round 1 is we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And this pattern we're going to work 3 times into our ring. Okay. So now you have our 3 chain. So you're going to put 3 double crochet into the center. So go ahead and complete doing 3 double crochet, and then we meet back up. Okay, so I completed doing our 3 double crochet. So the pattern, we need to repeat it 2 more times because we needed to do it 3 times. And this is 1 time, we did it already. So the pattern again is chain your 3, go into the center of our circle, you put 3 double crochet. And when you do that for 2 more times, we meet back up. I complete doing that for 2 more times, and this is how we're looking. Now what's left to do for round 1, we have to join it. And by joining it, we're forming out our last corner that we need. Because you see the granny squares, they usually have 4 corners. So this is going to shape it out now, what we're going to do right here. So now what we need to do is we're going to chain 1. Now for us to join it, we're going to use a half double crochet to do that. And a half double crochet is, you're going to yarn over your hook and see where a stitch marker is. I tell you I like that because it opens up so you could find it and get in there better. Take out my stitch marker. I go into that chain. It's the top of the chain 3. You're going to yarn over your hook. And we have 3 loops of yarn on our hook. Yarn over your hook, and you're going to pull across all those 3 loops on our hook. And that's how you do a half double crochet. So this is how we look when we complete round 1. To start round 2, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And remember I told you whenever we do that chain 3, it always counts as our first double crochet for that round. And of course I went ahead and I put in my stitch marker on top of that chain 3 so I could come back and find it. Makes it easier for me. Now we're going to put a double crochet around our join half double crochet. So go around the join half double crochet, and you know how to do the double crochet. Of course, you yarn over your hook, go around that half double we join, and just complete the double crochet. There you go. So we're going to skip the next double crochet, and the next double crochet will be considered right here. So we're going to skip this, and we're going to work in this double crochet that's here. So it will be the center double crochet, because remember from round 1 we did 3 double crochet, so we're going to use the center double crochet to work in. So what we're going to do there is we're going to put 1 double crochet, and then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to go right back down into that same double crochet, and you're going to put another double crochet, and that's how we look. So this is the pattern we're going to follow around for round 2, and the pattern consists of, we're going to skip the next double crochet, and we're going to go to the chain 3 that we have here. We're going to work in there, and what we're going to do there is we're going to start off by putting 2 double crochet, 1, go back down into that same spot, 2 double crochet, and you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, go back down, and you're going to put 2 more double crochet. There you go. So you're going to work that pattern 2 more times, and then we meet back up. So the pattern is you skip this double crochet and you go to this double crochet, and that's the center double crochet. You're going to put 1 double crochet, chain 3, go back down and put another double crochet. Then you skip this double crochet and you go into the chain 3 space, and you're going to put 2 double crochet, chain 3, go back down and put 2 more double crochet. So go ahead and follow that pattern for 2 more times, and then we meet back up. So now to complete the pattern around, we skip this double crochet, and in the center double crochet, we're going to put that 1 double crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we go back down and we put another double crochet. That's how we're looking so far. Now we're getting ready to finish up round 2. So we're going to skip this double crochet here, and our chain 1 space, we're going to put 2 double crochet there. So go ahead and complete that. So we did our 2 double crochet. You're going to chain 1, and we're going to be joining again with 1/2 double crochet. So I'll show you again how to join with the 1/2 double crochet. And remember, my stitch marker is on top of that chain 3. It helps me to remind me. So I'm going to take it out. And the 1/2 double again is yarn over your hook, go into that chain, you pull up a loop, 3 loops of yarn in your hook, yarn over, pull straight across 3 of them. And that's it. We complete doing round 2. And you see, whenever we do that join with the 1/2 double crochet, it forms out our last corner. Because with our each corner has 2 double crochet we started off with, and then the chain 3. And then we put another set of the 2 double crochet. So that's what we're doing here whenever we join with that 1/2 double. Now to start round 3, and basically it's the same thing when we start each of our round. We're going to do that chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to put in our stitch marker, and then around the 1/2 double that we join with, we're going to put 1 double crochet there. There you go. Now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. So now we're going to go all the way to our chain 3 here, and in that chain 3 space we're going to put 6 triple crochet. And the triple crochet is very similar to a double crochet. With the double crochet you yarn over your hook once. With the triple crochet you yarn over your hook 2 times. So go ahead and do that. And now we're going to work, remember, in the chain 3 space here. So you go into that chain 3 space, you pull up a loop, and we're going to take off just like we did for the double crochet. Yarn over your hook, you take off 2 loops, that first 2 loops, yarn over your hook, take off 2 more loops, and then you have 2 more loops remaining, yarn over, and you pull straight across. And we need 6 of them. So we did 1, so we need 5 more. I'll show you again. Yarn over your hook 1 time, yarn over your hook 2 times. Then go into that chain 3 space, and then you just complete it like a double crochet by taking off 2 loops at a time. 1, 2, and 3. So there you go. So go ahead and do that, because remember we need 6. So now we did 2, so you need 4 more. And then we meet back up. So we went ahead and completed, put in 6 triple crochet into that chain 3 space, and this is how we look. So we're going to go ahead and chain 2, and we reach at our first corner, and whenever we get to the corner, this is the pattern we're going to follow. You're always going to start off with 2 double crochet, and you're going to chain your 3, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to go back down and put 2 more double crochet, and that's how we do the corner pattern. Now we do 2 chain, and we're back at this chain 3 here, and in this chain 3, because it's not the corner is here, we're going to put the 6 triple crochet. So go ahead and put the 6 triple crochet. So we went ahead and did our 6 triple in that chain 3. So now you're going to chain 2, and we're back at a corner, so you know the pattern to follow for the corner. And you're going to go ahead and follow this pattern around. I'll tell you again, but we're going to follow it around till we get to this chain 1 space here. So the pattern is, we chain our 2 already. So this is our corner, and our corner consists of 2 double crochet, chain your 3, 2 double crochet. And then you chain your 2, and this is where the pineapple shape is coming out. So you're going to put in this chain 3 space here, you're going to put 6 triple crochet, chain your 2, do the pattern for the corner, and then you're going to go all the way till you get here to your chain 1 space, and I'll show you what to do. But remember, you're going to finish off with chain 2. So we went ahead and followed that pattern around, and of course between we have our chain 2 space. So I chained my 2 already. So for our last chain 1, and again, this will be the pattern throughout. You always do 2 double crochet right there. So put 2 double crochet around that chain 1 space, and now we need to join it. But before we join it, we always do our chain 1. So go ahead and join it with 1/2 double crochet, because I showed you how to do it before, and remember, you used the stitch marker to help us out. So we went ahead and joined it with 1/2 double crochet, and this is how we look when we complete round 3. So go ahead and start round 4, and you know round 4 we start chain your 3, put your stitch marker back in at the top of the chain 3, and then you're going to double crochet around the 1/2 double crochet we made right here to join it. So go ahead and do that, and we'll meet back up. So we complete that. So next step is chain 2, and our triple right here, our first triple, what we're going to do is put 1 double crochet there. Now for this pattern, we're going to repeat 5 times. So I'll show you how to do it. Is you're going to chain 1, and in triple crochet, you're going to put a double crochet. So that's 1 time. So go ahead and do it for 4 more times. So you're going to chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and then we meet back up. So we complete doing that. So our next step is we're going to chain 2. And by chaining the 2, it gets us to our corner. So go ahead and complete the pattern that we have for the corner, and that's 2 double crochet, chain 3, and 2 double crochet. So we complete doing our corner, and we're going to chain our 2. And now here our pattern is repeating again. So I won't show you and just tell you. And then we meet back up. So you chain your 2 already. So you're going to put a double crochet, and then you chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So you complete that, and then you chain your 2, you do your corner, you chain your 2, and then you do the double crochet, chain 1, and we're going to meet back up where we have our chain 1 space. We went ahead and did our 2 double crochet around the chain 1 space, and you're going to chain your 1, and you're going to join it. And remember, you join with a 1/2 double crochet. That complete doing that for round 4. So now we made it up to round 5. So you know round 5, you start off by doing your chain 3, and then you're going to put 1 double crochet around our 1/2 double crochet we just joined. Now for round 5, here is where our pattern for more or granny greedy square that we're used to doing is coming out now. Because we would do a chain 2 and then get started with the center of our work, because we have our corners. But here what we're going to do is we're actually going to put double crochet. And remember, we're going to use this double crochet here that we just joined to when we did the 1/2 double. That will be our first double crochet. So we're going to put 1 double crochet there. And the next double crochet is right here. So we're going to put a double crochet there. So that's how we're going to start now moving forward with our rounds, because this is round 5. Whenever we have double crochet, right after we join and do our chain 3, we're going to use these double crochet by putting 1 double crochet in each of them. And hopefully I did not confuse you, but if you need a written pattern, just check out the description and it's there. Now here we do continue with our chain 2, 1, 2. So now our next step is we're going to single crochet in the chain 1 space here. And a single crochet is you go into that space or that stitch, but we're using the space. You pull up a loop, 2 loops of yarn in your hook, yarn over, and you're going to pull straight across 2 of them at the same time. And that's how you do a single crochet. Now we're going to repeat this pattern for 4 times, because that's what we use in the pineapple design right here. So you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You find that chain 1 space from a previous row. You go in there and you're going to put a single crochet right there. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then single crochet. Show you again the single crochet. Go into that space, pull up a loop, 2 loop of yarn on your hook, yarn over, you pull straight across. That's it. So do that for 2 more times and we meet back up. So that's how our pattern is coming out to be so far. So we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. By doing that, we get to our corner. But here again, we're going to do the double crochet in each of our double crochet when we get to the corner. Like how we started row 5, we started to put our double crochet in each of them. Again, it makes the granny look, okay? The granny square look. So double crochet in these 2 double crochet before we get to the chain 3. That's in our corner. And then you just do the pattern for the corner. 2 double crochet, chain 3, 2 double crochet. So that's how we're looking. So now we have these 2 double crochet right here. We're also going to put a double crochet in each of them. And now that's how our corner is looking. So now we're going to do 2 chain, and then our pattern is basically starting up again. So what you're going to do now is you're going to put a single crochet in the chain 1 space, single crochet in the chain 1 space, but of course you chain 3 between. So it's here again. We're doing this over again. So you're going to do it here. You chain your 2, and what we did here in each of those 2 stitch before our corner, chain 3. Make sure you put 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and that will form our corner as we just did here. So you're going to follow that pattern around. So go ahead and complete it. Now we made it around for round 5 to complete it. And we have these 2 double crochet here just before our chain 1 space. So what we're going to do there, we're going to put 1 double crochet in each of them. And this will help us complete the pattern for round 5. So now you know what you do here with the chain 1 space. You put 2 double crochet, and then of course you join it with 1/2 double crochet. So go ahead and do that. And that's how we're looking. And remember, you actually chain your 1 first before you join it. Every time you do that when we're completing the round. Now for round 6, basically everything we did for round 5 we're going to do. You see as we go along, because we already chained our 3 and we already did our 1 double crochet around our join half double. Now for our 4 double crochet we have here, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to put 1 double crochet in each of them. We're going to chain our 2, and in the chain 3 space that we have here, we're going to put 1 single crochet. And then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You're going to put a single crochet. So go ahead and do that for 2 more times. So we went ahead and did that for 2 more times. Now you're going to chain your 2, 1, 2, and for 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochet, you're going to put 1 double crochet in each of them. Now we're at the corner, so you follow the pattern of 2 double crochet, chain 3, 2 double crochet. Okay, I went ahead and did that. That's how we're looking. So now I won't show you how to do the following for completion of round 6. I'll just tell you. So now we have, again, the 4 double crochet. All you do is put 1 double crochet in each of them. You chain your 2, 1 single crochet in the chain 3 space, you chain 3 single crochet, and then you move on till you get here, 2 chain, and you do again the 4, the corner pattern, and you're going to do that till you get here, and of course you chain your 2, and then here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochet. So you're going to put 1 double crochet in each of them, and then of course at the chain 1 space you put 2 double crochet, and then you're going to join it. But before you join it, remember you always chain your 1 with 1/2 double crochet, and then we meet back up when you complete round 6. This is how we look when we complete round 6. I went ahead and I started round 7 by chaining my 3, and I did my double crochet around the join, 1/2 double crochet. I'm not going to show you how to do round 7. I'll just tell you. So for 6 double crochet, 1 double crochet, you chain your 2, then you're going to put a single crochet, then you're going to chain your 3, a single crochet, chain your 3, and single crochet, and chain your 2, and 6 double crochet, and do the pattern for the corner with 2 double crochet, chain 3, 2 double crochet, 6 again. So you're going to do that, and of course you know when you get back here you need 6 also too, and then you chain your 1 and join it with the 1/2 double, and then we meet back up. So I won't show you how to do round 7. You go ahead and complete it, and then we meet back up. This is how we look at the completion of round 7. I went ahead and I started round 8. So now for round 8 you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 double crochet, and you're going to chain the 2 of course, then you're going to single crochet in the chain 3 space, chain 3, and then single crochet, and then 8. We're going to have 8 on this side of our corner, and this side of the corner you have 8 double crochet you need to do. And of course when you come back around to complete round 8, you're going to have 8 here that you need to do, and of course you know you put 2 double crochet to finish off at the chain 1 space, and then you chain your 1, and then you're going to join it with the 1/2 double. So go ahead and complete round 8, and then we meet back up. This is how we look when we complete round 8. I went ahead and I started round 9, and for round 9 you need 10 double crochet to start off with, and then you're going to chain 3 this time, not 2, and then you're going to put a single crochet and chain 3, and then you're going to put 10 double crochet and do the pattern for the corner. Okay, so go ahead and do that around. Now we completed doing round 9. Now we're going to do round 10, and this will be our last round to do. And for round 10 we're going to put 1 single crochet in each of our stitch. All right, so to start off with, we're going to chain 1, and around our 1/2 double join we're going to put 1 single crochet right there to start off with. But I just want to make sure, take out my stitch marker from there and put it up here. This is our first single crochet made for round 10. And when we get right here, I'll show you how I do it. All right, so I made it to where our chain 3 is at. So what I'm going to do is just hold it like when we first started to make our first chain. I used the back part of it, so I'm going to go through those 2 top loops of our chain, and then I have the bar in the back, and that's how I'm going to complete my single crochet. When I have the chain 3, and you have the chain 3 here in the corner too, but I'll show you when we get right here to the single crochet what I do. So now for the single crochet, you have here that you will go in if you were doing a regular single crochet. So you could either go there if you prefer, or if not, it's fine for this project if you go in the center of the single crochet. Either way works, because sometimes I was doing it to the side or to the center. For here, I'll show you how it looks when we do it in the center. So you go into the center of the single crochet, and you complete a regular single crochet. So now I'm about to complete round 10, and I have 1 more stitch to do, and this is our chain 1. So we're going to put 1 single crochet right there, That's inside our chain 1. And then we're going to complete it by joining it with a slip stitch. And to join it, again, I showed you how to do a slip stitch earlier. I'll show you again. You go into that stitch, take out my stitch marker, don't need it anymore, and you pull up a loop, and that loop that you have on your hook, you pull straight across. And that's how we're going to do our join slip stitch, okay? And you're going to pull up a little tail, not too long, so we could tuck it in. And for the completion of round 10, we completed with 135 single crochet. Okay, so you're aware of that with completion of round 10. Of course, you see I cut off my yarn and also attached my yarn needle. So I'm going to show you how I tuck it in. So the actual stitch that we joined to, I'm going to go to the back of that stitch and just pull the yarn through it. There, and now I'm going to weave it in the back because I want to show you how I hide my tail. Okay, I'm going to find stitch right underneath, try to keep it because this is the back of our work and this is the front of our work, so I keep it in the back, go under a couple stitches. Okay, I think I tuck it in nice, feels good, secure, and I don't make it too bulky. I'm just going to cut that off, and this is how it looks when we tuck it in the back, and this is the front of our work. We also have this tail when we started, so I would just take my yarn needle and go underneath the stitches that we have in the center and just clip it off. So now we made one of our granny square together. You need to now make 5 more because we need 6 for our poncho. Now the next step I'm going to show you is how to make this small pineapple motif to go in the center of our poncho. So I went ahead and attached my yarn to my hook with a slip knot stitch. Now what we need to do is chain 4. Now we're going to join it, and I showed you how to do that earlier too. So you need to slip stitch to the first stitch that we made. So our next step is we're going to chain 3. Remember, our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. So now we need to put 2 more double crochet in our ring. So go ahead and do that. Then we meet back up. And as you see, I put the stitch marker to help open it up and to remind me. So I went ahead and put 2 double crochet in our ring. So now what we need to do is chain 5. So I complete doing the chain 5 we need. So now we're going to do 3 double crochet back into the center of our ring. So go ahead and do that. So I went ahead and put 3 more double crochet in the center of our ring, and this is how we look. And for this motif, the small one, we're going to be working in row, not rounds, but row. So that's the completion of row 1. Now to start row 2, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to turn our work. So now I wanted to show you too, because we turn our work, we did our chain 3. Remember, this will count as our first double crochet for the row. So I'm going to put my stitch marker right here. Now for our first stitch right there, that's our first double crochet. We're going to put 1 double crochet right there. Next step is chain 2. And remember, chain 5 space. What we're going to do there is we're going to put 8 triple crochet in there. And you know how to do the triple because I showed you earlier. So go ahead and put 8 triple crochet into our chain 5 space, and we'll meet back up. So we have our 8 triple crochet. So we're going to chain 2. And then where our stitch marker is, our last stitch, we're going to put 2 double crochet there. And that's the completion of row 2. So now for row 3 and for the other rows, this is how we're going to start each of them when we're moving forward, okay? So for row 3, you're going to chain 3, and we're going to turn our work. And remember, I always put back my stitch marker on the top of the chain 3 so I could find it and I know where I need to go. And again, is that first stitch right there, that double crochet, we're going to put 1 double crochet there. And as you see, that's how we started row 2. We're starting row 3. Our next step is we need to chain our 2. And now for the next step we're going to do is going to put a double crochet in our triple here. And this is the pattern again for the pineapple design. And the next step is you're going to chain 1 and you're going to double crochet in the next triple. So continue doing that. You get to the end of the last triple to do, and then I'll show you what to do next. So we follow that pattern. So now you're going to chain your 2, and remember where stitch marker is. That's the top of the chain 3. We're going to put, because that's our last stitch, we're going to put 2 double crochet there. So this is how we look when we complete row 4. So now to start row 5, you go ahead and do what we've been doing. So I went ahead and I chained my 3, put my stitch marker back in, and of course I turned my work, and that first stitch I put a double crochet. And we're going to chain our 2, and for that first chain 1 space we're going to put 1 single crochet there. And again, this is the pineapple pattern. You're going to do your chain 3, 1, and then you're going to put 1 single crochet in the chain 1 space. So continue working with that pattern, and then we get back to here, and then I'll show you what to do next. So we follow that pattern. So our next step is we're going to chain 2, and where our stitch marker is, we're going to put 2 double crochet. So now we completed row 4, and this is how we look. So I went ahead and started the pattern for row 5 by chaining 3, turning my work, and for that first stitch I put a double crochet and chain my 2. So our next step is we're going to put a single crochet in the chain 3, and you're going to chain your 3, and then you're going to single crochet and keep on working with that pattern, and then we meet back up when you're doing the chain 2 here. So I finished that with the pattern that we were following, and I chained my 2, and we're back to where our stitch marker is at. Make sure you put 2 double crochet in our last stitch, and by doing that we complete row 5. So I went ahead and started row 6, and I chained my 2, and now you're going to single crochet into the chain 3 space, and then you're going to chain your 3, and you're going to put a single crochet in that chain 3 space, and then you continue working with that pattern, and then you're going to chain your 2, and in the last stitch, remember, you put 2 double crochet, and we'll meet there. We went ahead and completed row 6. I went ahead and started row 7. I chained my 3, turned my work, put a double crochet in the first stitch, chain 2, and I single crochet in that chain 3 space. Left to do is to chain my 3 and then single crochet, and then till I get to here where I need to do my chain 2, and then I'm going to put 2 double crochet in the last stitch. I went ahead and completed row 7. I went ahead and started row 8. I chained my 3, turned my work, put 1 double crochet in that first stitch, chain my 2, I put a single crochet in that chain 3 spot or space, and then I chain my 3, single crochet, chain my 3, single crochet, and I did my chain 2. So what's left for me to do is to complete row 8 is to put 2 double crochet, and this is how we look when we complete row 8. So I went ahead and I started row 9 with the pattern we've been doing by chain your 3, turn our work, 1 double crochet in that first stitch, chain our 2, single crochet in the chain 3 space, chain our 3, single crochet in the chain 3 space, and chain our 2, and put in 2 double crochet in our last stitch. I have 1 more to do because I already did 1, and this is how we look when we complete row 9. So I went ahead and started row 10. I chained my 3, turned my work, put 1 double crochet in that first stitch, chain 2, and single crochet in the chain 3 space. So now I need to chain 2 and finish off by putting 2 double crochet in the last stitch. Now we finish row 10. We're going to move on now to row 11, and that will be our last row to do. So for row 11, we're going to chain 2. And being this is the last row to do, I'm not going to put my stitch marker back there. I'm just going to turn my work. So now the next step is we're going to go into this single crochet. And remember earlier when we did the large motif, I told you could have went to the side or to the center of the single crochet. I'm going to work in the center here because we're going to start off by putting 2 double crochet there, and next we're going to chain 3, and in that same single crochet we're going to put 2 more double crochet. Next step is chain our 2, and where our stitch marker is, our last stitch, we're going to slip stitch to that. And this is how we look when we complete row 11. So now all that's left for us to do is pull up a little tail, and you grab your scissors and cut it off, and then you weave it in because we have this end to weave in and the end that we started off with. And remember, we need 2 of them, so you would do exactly what we did here and make another one. Our next step is that we need to sew together our pieces to form our poncho. And when we crochet our granny square, sometimes we tend to have different size of them. So I'm not going to block my granny square, the motifs. If you want to, you can go ahead and do it. So for 3 of the granny squares, we're going to sew them together to create the front of our poncho, and then we're going to use 3 more to create the back of the poncho. And we're going to use the mattress stitch to sew it, and we're going to do it on the right side. I cut off a piece of yarn about 30 inches and I attached my yarn needle, and now I'm going to show you how to do the mattress stitch. When we completed creating the large motif and crochet, we end off with the last row with the single crochet. So that's what we're going to use to sew it together. Being that our yarn is not attached to our project, what we're going to do is we're going to start from here. Just pull up a loop, keep a tail out, and then we find the center of our corner. That's the third, because this will be 1, 2, 3 when we chain. So go find the other one in the center and go through the single crochet. Remember, we're sewing on the right side. So now we're going to go back to where we just came from when we first started. This is just to anchor it and hold our yarn in place as we work. And I'm leaving this tail so we could tuck in later and secure it. So now this is the mattress stitch. So now we are on this side with our yarn. We're going to go underneath the single crochet like this. And then you're going to find the other single crochet correspond to the other side. And you're going to go underneath. Then you're going to go under, back again. And then what we're going to do is just tighten it up as we go along. You feel it when you do it because you don't want it too tight or you don't want it too loose. We're just making it look nice to close it up as we go. So now you see the yarn was there, so we need to come back over to this side and we go underneath the single crochet stitches or that stitch, and then the yarn is coming from this direction. We go back under this single crochet. Now I made it to the other end. Now I want to weave this in. So I'm going to go over here to this stitch and just take my hook and bring it inside. So I went ahead and turned it on the wrong side. Now that I'm on the wrong side of my work, I could just take my tail and I hide it in. I'm not going to show you how to tuck it in because I did previously. So just find stitches underneath. And of course, go ahead and tuck this one in. Make sure it's nice and secure because this is the tail that we started off with. All right. And I finished tucking my ends, and this is how we look when we finish doing the mattress stitch. And this is the front of our work, and this is the back of our work. Started off by sewing our first 2 granny squares together side by side. So now for the third granny square, you're going to find the edge of one of the granny square and you place it, and you could sew it here. Or if not, if you prefer, this other granny square here, and then sew this way. It will still give you the V for the front of our poncho. Okay, but I'm going to sew it here on this side. So you could place your stitch markers to help guide you, to hold you so you could stay on track of where the single crochet needs to be. So cut off a 30 inches pieces of yarn, attach it to start, and then work at one end, whatever end you prefer to work at, and use the matcher stitch and keep your stitches lined up as best as you can, and then we meet back up. So I went ahead and I sewed on my third piece. So the next step is, now what you need to do is to go ahead and do exactly what we did here, and then we'll make the back of our poncho. Now what's left for us to do is we have to sew up the shoulder edge, and we have, of course, two of them to do. You have this side and this side. And how we're going to sew it is, I have the back piece and the wrong side is facing us, and the front of our poncho, the right side is facing us, and that's how you're going to sew it on. So I complete sewing the shoulder together. Now what's left to do is to attach our small motif to our poncho. So it's our little pineapple. I'll show you how to do that. I already attached one, so I'll show you how to do this one. So you choose what side you want to attach as the front or the back of your pineapple. I turned the poncho inside out. So with the pineapple to attach it, I actually used the single crochet that we have to guide me. So I went this way and I came up and I went that way. And then what I did is I went inside and I re-tacked down the edge so they don't flip up, because we have extra more than what we need for the center. So I went around, and right here I closed up a little too, because I'll show you when we get there how I do it. I flip it a little bit so there'll be a little opening here. So we close that up, and then I work my way back around. I went ahead and turned the poncho on the right side because we're going to sew on the right side. So I placed my stitch marker to help guide me. And as you see, I have a little flip here. So this is not, the pineapple is not all the way down there. I'll try my best to show you as I explain it to you. And again, as I mentioned, we're going to sew around the pineapple, but keeping our single crochet as our guide. So I'm going to go from here. So obviously we're going to have more of the pineapple when we first attach it. It's not going to be at the edge of our pineapple that we're sewing through. It's going to be more like to the center, because we're pulling in our neck for our poncho in, but we don't want to pull it too much in, because then it's going to start getting bulky and have a little issue with it there. And when I'm attaching the pineapple, I'm not going to use the mattress stitch. It's just going to be the regular sewing method. So I went ahead and I cut off about 40 to 45 inches of a piece of yarn. So I'm going to start at this end. And again, our yarn is not attached. So I'm just going to go here, and I leave a tail so that I could tuck in later. And I go to the pineapple, and I'm going to go under a couple of the stitches. I'm going to go through the chain itself, and then I'm going to come back to where I was just from. Okay, I'm just going to pull on it a little bit. It's not really secure, but we're going to leave it there for now. I'm going to just take out the stitch marker out of my way, and then remember, as I said, I'm using the single crochet to help us. So I'm going to go here and then go to the pineapple and find stitches as I go. And since we're inside, we're going to pick up a couple of the stitches from the pineapple, go through the yarn, and then we want to come back out to match up to the next single crochet that we have. So I just used this single crochet here, so I'm going to go to the next single crochet here, and I'm feeling underneath where the pineapple have some yarn and some stitches. Go through that, and remember, we want to keep it as close together as we can. So continue working. So at this point, if you like it, because we got to the other side, you could leave it. If not, you could take it off and redo it so it looks nice, because we didn't secure it yet. The next step now I'm going to show you, flip it inside. So now I'm on the wrong side of the poncho. So what we're going to do, we're going to work our way back to where we started from. So all you do is find stitches from the pineapple, and as best as you can find stitches on the poncho itself, but in the back. We don't want to come out to the front, okay? And again, it's just regular sewing method that we're doing, nothing special. So continue working with that, and I continue working with mine. So now I made it to the part that we have here. So I'm not going to continue working up. I'm going to take my yarn needle and just weave myself down and then weave myself back up, or sew, I should say, myself back. Sew myself down, and then I'm going to sew myself back up. Now I made it to where we first started, and I brought the other yarn that we had started with inside, and all I'm going to do is put couple of knots there. Although I'm going to tuck it in, I just want to make sure it's secure. And so now all I'm going to do is tuck these in and cut it off and flip it back on the right side. What all is left for you to do is to try it on, and that's it. You did awesome work. I'm very proud of you. You did it, and it looks really nice. I'm happy how it turned out, and I hope you had fun learning with me today. Thank you for watching. Till next time. Bye-bye.